Welcome to episode 22 of our series on Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. Imagine you're standing in a bustling city street. Cars are honking, people are rushing by, and your phone is buzzing with notifications. It's easy to get caught up in this whirlwind of noise and activity. Much like this scenario, many of us live our lives constantly reacting to the immediate, without pausing to consider the bigger picture. But what if we could step back and look at things differently? What if we could see not just what's in front of us, but also what's coming down the road? This is what we call having a big picture or long-term view. It's about thinking beyond just today or tomorrow and considering how our choices might affect us weeks, months, or even years from now. Let's talk about a real example from history we have discussed earlier in episode 21 that shows why only thinking about the present can be risky. Back in 1720, there was a man named John Blunt who came up with a big idea. He wanted to help England pay off its debts by turning them into shares in a company called the South Sea Company. At first, people loved this idea. They thought they could get rich quickly by buying these shares. For a while, it seemed to work. Everyone was excited, and the price of the shares kept going up. Even smart people like Sir Isaac Newton, the famous scientist, bought in. But here's the problem. No one stopped to think about what might happen if things went wrong. They were all so focused on making money right now that they didn't consider the risks. As you might guess, it didn't end well. The whole thing fell apart, and lots of people lost all their money. This event, called the South Sea Bubble, shows what can happen when we only think about the present and forget to look ahead. So, how can we avoid making mistakes like this? The answer is to practice something called long-term thinking, or having a far-sighted perspective. This means training our brains to look beyond what's happening right now. Here's how we can do it. 1. Take a step back. When something exciting or scary happens, don't react right away. Take a deep breath and give yourself time to think. 2. Ask, why? Instead of accepting things at face value, try to understand the reasons behind what's happening. 3. Look at the whole picture. Think about how the current situation fits into the bigger story of your life or the world around you. 4. Consider the future. Before making a decision, try to imagine what might happen as a result, not just tomorrow, but in the weeks and months to come. 5. Know yourself. Pay attention to how you usually react to things. Recognizing your habits can help you make better choices. By doing these things, we can start to see more clearly, kind of like climbing up a mountain to get a better view of the landscape below. Why it's hard, but worth it. Now, thinking this way isn't always easy. Our brains are actually wired to focus on what's happening right now. This made sense for our ancestors who had to watch out for immediate dangers like wild animals. But in today's complex world, we need to train ourselves to think differently. For example, it's hard for many people to take climate change seriously because its worst effects seem far away. It's easier to worry about things we can see and feel right now. Similarly, it's tough to resist things that feel good in the moment, like eating junk food, even when we know they're bad for us in the long run. But here's the thing. Learning to think long-term is like a superpower. It can help us make better choices, avoid big mistakes, and achieve our goals. It's the difference between being swept along by life and actively shaping our own future. Throughout history, there have been people who were really good at thinking ahead. In the Bible, there's a story about Joseph, who predicted a famine and helped Egypt prepare. In more recent times, people like Warren Buffett have become very successful by looking at the big picture in business. We can learn from these examples. By spending time with people who think long-term and reading about their ideas, we can start to develop this skill ourselves. In a world that's always changing and getting more complicated, being able to think long-term is more important than ever. It's not always easy. We have to fight against our natural instincts and the pressure to focus on the here and now. But by working on this skill, we can make smarter decisions, reach our goals more easily, and help create a better future for ourselves and others. Remember, it's not about ignoring the present completely. It's about finding a balance, being aware of what's happening now, but also keeping an eye on the road ahead. By doing this, we're not just reacting to life as it happens. We're actively shaping our own path and becoming the best versions of ourselves. So next time you're faced with a big decision or an exciting opportunity, try to pause and look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself, how might this affect me not just today, but in the months and years to come? It might take some practice, but over time, this way of thinking can lead to a wiser, more fulfilling life. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If something resonated with you, share your thoughts and personal experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be valuable to others. Now, a quick reminder. Make it a habit to learn something beneficial every day. The content you consume is like food for your brain, so be intentional about it. Otherwise, the algorithm might start influencing your thoughts. Reflect on that. We're always accepting your contributions through subscriptions to our channel. Your support will help us with upcoming projects and ensure we continue delivering top-notch content. Join us by subscribing today.